Looking up, Claire enjoyed the view of the sky. Due to the river being wide enough, the canopy that covered the area above them was broken up. She enjoyed the bright blue sky. The light made the area near the river brighter and more lively. If it weren't for the monsters crawling around everywhere, I could see this place being a good location for a house, Claire thought to herself. Approaching the river, where everyone else was enjoying the cooler air and the water, she could hear them talking. I wonder if the cliff is due to the river flooding. Tommy placed a hand to his chin and thought. Hearing that there might be instances of flooding, Claire revised her thinking of the area being great for a house. It'd have to be raised up high enough, I guess. Claire chuckled to herself. What's so funny? Hannah asked Claire, wiping a hand across her mouth after getting a refreshing drink. Claire smiled. I was thinking with a break in the canopy, this area would be great for a house. That was until Tommy brought up the idea of this area being susceptible to flooding. She stuck out her tongue at Tommy. You ruined the picture in my head. Rubbing the back of his head and laughing, Tommy said, I mean, you could always just raise it up. Though, I don't know how many people would want to build a house in an area filled with monsters. It's not a bad idea, Astrid smiled. Frida nodded. I've heard of some adventurers thinking of building a house in areas that most would find unappealing due to the monsters that prowl in close proximity. She tilted her head as if thinking of something. I guess it would allow you to develop your skills at detecting threats. Laughing at her companion's thinking, Astrid said, Sure, the first 100 times where you're pulled out of the window by a monster while you sleep will help with developing your situational awareness. The two women leaned against one another as they laughed at the image. Seeing both Astrid and Frida laugh so hard made Claire giggle. It wasn't long before Hannah and the twins joined in. What are you thinking about? Tommy asked. Claire looked at Abby, who was deep in contemplation. You're not seriously thinking about building a house in a dangerous area, right? Tommy asked Abby, his voice rising in disbelief. Abby shrugged. Astrid and Frida are right. Sure, we might get killed or eaten hundreds of times, but think of the benefits we'd get. He turned to Tommy. At some point, we're going to need to get used to living inside of a hostile environment. So, why not just build a house in an area that has a lot of monsters? Finding out his friend was being serious, Tommy shook his head, not knowing what to think of Abby's words. Wiping the tears from her eyes, Candace said, That's a pretty crazy idea you got there, sis. Brooke nodded in agreement as she got in control of the leftover giggles. Raising both hands into the air, think of the content we'd get if we were to broadcast building a house in a place that has a lot of monsters. Abby grinned. Claire's eyes widened. I didn't even think about that. It would allow us to increase our influence with adventurers if they know that we go to such extremes to get stronger. Abby continued. In order for us to go into areas meant for level 20 or 30 adventurers, we'll need to be able to attract more people to join us in our efforts. I like the idea, Astrid said. I hope you don't mind us joining you on building this idea, Frida asked. The two warrior women had a look of excitement, as though living in a dangerous area would provide lots of opportunities. Abby nodded at Astrid and Frida. Then, she focused on Claire and Hannah. The two of you could craft items that would allow us to build a home. taking down these massive trees and making them into manageable sizes to build a large enough base. Hannah looked to Claire. What do you think?